Try it right now. Run your fingers up your own side, across your ribs, the back of your knee, anywhere you know for a fact is ticklish. Nothing happens, no squirm, no laugh, no reflex at all. Now picture someone else's hand doing the exact same thing. Same spot, same speed, same pressure, and your whole body is already bracing, already wanting to flinch away before they even touch you. Same fingers, same skin, one of them is unbearable, the other is nothing. Why? The answer is far stranger than it sounds. It runs all the way down to the line between you and everyone else, the line between your body and the rest of the world. Start with the tickle itself, because there are actually two of them. In 1897, two psychologists named Stanley and Arthur Allin gave them names. The first is knismesis. That's the light one, the faint, itchy, feather-on-the-skin tingle. The second is gargalesis. That's the real one, the hard, helpless, laughing kind that makes you curl up and twist away and beg for it to stop. Here's the first strange thing. The faint one, you can sometimes give yourself. The laughing one, you can never give yourself. Not once, not with practice, not on your most ticklish spot on your worst day. Your own body simply refuses. So what's the difference between your hand and theirs? More than 150 years ago, Charles Darwin already had a piece of the answer. In 1872, he noticed that the laughing tickle behaves exactly like a joke. And a joke is only funny if you don't see the punchline coming. Tickling, Darwin said, works the same way. The touch has to be unexpected, and it has to come from someone else. The moment your brain knows precisely where the touch is going to land, and precisely when, the whole thing collapses. There's no surprise left to have. And when you tickle yourself, your brain always knows. It's the same reason you can't make yourself jump. You can't sneak up on yourself in a dark hallway. You can't startle yourself, no matter how hard you try, because the one person who can never catch you off guard is the person doing the catching. Surprise needs a gap between you and whatever is coming. And inside your own head, there is no gap. But that just moves the question one step back. How does your brain always know? You're not watching your own hand. You're not concentrating. So how does it predict the touch so perfectly that it kills the feeling every single time? The answer is that your brain is not sitting back, waiting to feel the world. It is constantly predicting it. Every time you move, your brain fires a command out to your muscles. And it quietly keeps a copy of that command for itself. From that copy, before you've moved an inch, it calculates exactly what the movement is going to feel like. Scientists call this a forward model. Think about what that actually means. Before your finger ever lands on your skin, your brain has already written the prediction of how that touch will feel, and where, and when. Then the real sensation arrives, and your brain compares the two. They match. They always match. So your brain does something remarkable. It turns the sensation down. In 1998, a team at University College London, Sarah Jane Blakemore, Daniel Wolpert, and Chris Frith, showed this directly. Touch that you produce yourself is felt as weaker than the very same touch coming from outside. Your own hand is quieter to you than a stranger's hand. Always. And they found the machine that does it. The prediction is generated in the cerebellum, the dense little knot of tissue at the base of your skull. It forecasts the feeling a fraction of a second before it happens, and the part of your brain that registers touch barely bothers to answer. Your nervous system is, quite literally, editing you out of your own experience. And this is happening constantly, far beyond tickling. You don't feel your tongue sitting in your mouth right now. You don't feel your clothes resting against your skin. You didn't notice the blink that wiped your vision black a moment ago, because your brain saw all of it coming and threw it away before it reached you. You are not feeling the world as it is. You are feeling only the parts of it your brain didn't already predict. Now, here's where it gets strange. If this is really about prediction, then you should be able to break it. Throw the prediction off, and your own touch should turn back into a stranger's. So, in 1999, the same team built a small machine to do exactly that. You move a lever with one hand. The lever drives a robot. The robot strokes a piece of soft foam across the palm of your other hand. So you are still the one causing the touch. But now there's a machine sitting in the middle, and the scientists control what it does. With no delay, it feels like nothing. Flat, predictable, your own boring touch. Then they started slipping in a tiny delay between the moment you moved and the moment the foam moved. A fraction of a second, building up to about 300 milliseconds. That's it, and the foam began to tickle. Then they tried something else. They twisted the direction, so your hand pushed one way, but the touch arrived at a different angle, rotating it further and further, up to 90 degrees off from what you did. And again, it tickled. Here is the crucial part. The bigger the mismatch, the more ticklish it got. The further reality drifted from the prediction, the more your own hand stopped feeling like yours. A few hundred milliseconds of delay. That is the entire distance between you and a stranger. Think about how thin that is. Not a soul, Not some deep, unbreakable self. Just timing. Get the timing wrong by a third of a second, and your brain quietly files your own hand under everyone else. Now, to be fair, prediction isn't the whole story, and the scientists who study this are the first to say so. Tickling is also one of the most social things we do. We tickle the people we trust. We laugh helplessly while begging them to stop. And it guards exactly the parts of the body we most need to protect: the throat, the ribs, the soft of the belly. Some researchers think the laugh is almost a signal of surrender, a thing that only makes sense between two creatures who are playing. It's why tickling is one of the first games almost every culture plays with a baby. And it's why being tickled by someone you don't trust doesn't feel like a game at all. It feels like an attack. The exact same touch, read two completely opposite ways, depending entirely on who it is coming from. But notice where that lands. Whether you explain it through cold prediction or through play and trust, both answers arrive at the same door. The touch has to come from outside you. You are the one person in the universe you can never ambush. And that leads to the most unsettling discovery of all. Because if your sense of self really is built on this quiet prediction running underneath everything, then it should be possible, in principle, for it to break. And in some people it does. The same researchers went on to study people who live with something called passivity. It's the feeling that your own movements, even your own thoughts, are not really yours. That something outside you is the one moving them. People who, in some cases, hear voices that do not feel like they come from themselves. In those people, the brain stops correctly tagging its own actions as self-produced. The prediction no longer lines up with the body. The cancellation fails. And those people can tickle themselves. It sounds like a party trick. It is not. It is a crack running straight through the most basic boundary a mind has. The difference between something I did and something that was done to me. Sit with that for a second. The line between you and the rest of the world, the thing that feels more solid and more obvious than anything else in your life, is not a fact about the universe. It is a calculation. A silent, automatic prediction running in the background of every waking moment you have ever had. And when that one calculation slips, the wall between you and the world slips with it. So you can't tickle yourself. And now you know why. Your brain spends every second of your life predicting the things you do to your own body and erasing them before you ever feel them. The only sensations that ever reach you are the ones you didn't cause. The reason you can't surprise yourself is the same reason you know where you stop and the world begins. To feel anything out there at all, you had to disappear from your own hands. You've been doing it your entire life. You just never noticed. Because that was always the point.